Memory isn't just a recording device. It's a living, breathing system that defines who we are. In Why We Remember, neuroscientist Charan Ranganath pulls back the curtain on the mind, guiding us through what memory is, how it works, why it fails, and how we can nurture it. The book isn't merely about remembering facts or studying better. It's a much deeper conversation about how memory shapes our identity, our relationships, and even our perception of time. Ranganath opens by reminding us that memory isn't as dependable as we think. We often imagine our brains storing memories like video recorders, preserving every detail. But in truth, memory is reconstructive, not reproductive. Every time we recall something, we rebuild it, sometimes slightly differently than the last time. This explains why eyewitness testimonies can be flawed, why our childhood memories shift over time, and why different people can remember the same event so differently. Memory is an act of storytelling, and the stories we tell ourselves often change. At the center of the book is the idea that memory is not about the past, it's about the future. That might sound strange at first, but it makes sense when you consider that memory evolved to help us make decisions, navigate our environments, and anticipate what might come next. It's a predictive tool. We recall patterns to prepare for uncertainty. So the stronger and more flexible our memory, the more adaptable we are in the present. One of Ranganath's most powerful observations is how memory ties to meaning. We don't remember everything. We remember what feels important. Emotional intensity, novelty, personal relevance. These are what make things stick. That's why we can remember where we were on a special birthday but forget what we had for lunch 3 days ago. Our brains are not prioritizing storage but survival. So, when we encode information in a meaningful way, by connecting it to our experiences, values, or emotions, we're far more likely to remember it. He draws on fascinating neuroscience research to explain how the brain handles different kinds of memory. There's episodic memory, which lets us relive moments of our lives in vivid detail, and semantic memory, which stores general knowledge and facts. Then there's procedural memory, like riding a bike, and working memory, which acts like mental scratch paper. Each type of memory uses different brain systems. The hippocampus, for instance, plays a crucial role in binding details together to form a cohesive memory, like a mental time machine that helps us revisit the past or imagine the future. A big part of the book is focused on forgetting, not as failure but as a feature. We forget for a reason. Our minds are constantly bombarded with sensory data, emotional experiences, and daily tasks. If we remembered everything, it would paralyze us. So the brain filters and lets go. Forgetting helps clear mental clutter so we can focus on what matters. Ranganath even discusses motivated forgetting, how we unconsciously suppress painful or embarrassing memories as a form of emotional protection. Despite its imperfections, memory is remarkably resilient, and it can be trained. Ranganath talks about strategies that strengthen memory, like repetition spaced over time, associating new facts with vivid images, or telling ourselves stories about what we've learned. He emphasizes that we remember better when we're relaxed and engaged, not when we're stressed or distracted. In a world full of digital overload, our attention has become the first step in memory. If we're not paying attention, nothing gets stored in the first place. Technology is both a gift and a challenge in the memory conversation. We've outsourced so much of our remembering to phones and search engines that we often stop trying to remember at all. While this gives us more mental space for other things, it can also erode our cognitive sharpness. Ranganath encourages us to view memory not as something outdated in a tech world, but as something uniquely human. While your phone can store birthdays and directions, it can't give you a sense of purpose or continuity. Only memory can do that. One of the most personal and moving parts of the book explores the emotional texture of memory. Memory connects us to who we love, where we came from, and how we see ourselves. That's why memory loss through Alzheimer's or trauma can feel like losing the self. Ranganath walks us through real stories of patients whose memory systems failed in different ways, like those who remember facts but not emotions, or those who remember emotions but not events. These stories drive home how memory isn't just about knowing, it's about feeling. The relationship between memory and identity is profound. We are not fixed beings, we are the sum of what we remember. Our past decisions, our turning points, our happiest and hardest days, they create the lens through which we see the world. But memory is also selective, which means identity is malleable. We can reinterpret our past, reframe our stories, and even rewire our emotional patterns. Ranganath notes that psychotherapy often works by helping people revisit painful memories and give them new meaning. He also explores how collective memory works, how societies remember through stories, monuments, and rituals. These shared memories can unite communities, reinforce values, or distort history. Memory in this context becomes political. What we choose to commemorate, or forget, can shape national identity and future behavior. From memorials to museums to media, the way a culture remembers reflects what it believes. Ranganath doesn't shy away from the challenges of modern life on our memory systems. Sleep deprivation, chronic stress, social isolation, and multitasking all chip away at our cognitive capacity. Sleep especially plays a critical role in consolidating memories. During REM sleep, the brain replays and strengthens important events, helping them settle into long-term storage. Skipping sleep then isn't just exhausting, it robs us of our past. The author also addresses the myth of photographic memory. He clarifies that while some people have superior memory abilities, such as those with highly superior autobiographical memory or trained memory champions, these skills are built on techniques, not magic. Even the best memories are fallible. And even people with extraordinary recall can't always distinguish true memories from false ones. It's a sobering reminder that memory is both miraculous and flawed. There's hope though. Ranganath gives tools for improving how we remember. Slowing down, paying attention, reflecting regularly, and creating meaningful associations. He emphasizes how mindfulness and meditation, by sharpening our awareness and reducing mental noise, can help us become better noticers and therefore better rememberers. He encourages us to build mental hooks by using emotion, storytelling, imagery, or novelty when learning something new. Perhaps one of the most reassuring ideas is that memory doesn't have to be perfect to be useful. We don't need to remember everything. What we need is to remember what's meaningful. And often the act of remembering, of reflecting, is more powerful than the content itself. Sitting down to think about your day, to journal your thoughts, to talk through events with others. These are acts that sculpt not just memory but character. In the end, why we remember isn't just about cognitive science. It's about humanity. Memory isn't a database. It's a bridge. A bridge to our childhoods, our relationships, our goals, and our regrets. It helps us grieve, forgive, celebrate, and grow. Without memory, there's no story. And without stories, there's no self. Ranganath leaves readers with a simple yet profound takeaway. Cherish your memory. It's not just a tool, it's your most sacred connection to life. Treat it kindly. Give it rest. Fill it with beautiful things. And remember to remember, not because you have to, but because you can.